Groaners, welcome along to another splashdown into the Groan Zone with episode 179. We are closing the gap to our 200th episode, and next week's Easter special will kick off the countdown. Before we begin, we go back to the future to say Godspeed and rest in peace to James Tolkan, who played Mr Strickland in Back to the Future 1 and Back to the Future 2, as well as Marshall Strickland in Back to the Future 3. He also took us to the skies in Tom Cruise's Top Gun, where he played Stinger. Rest in peace and power, and thanks for the film memories. As we wish another legend a peaceful eternal slumber, we must move on with the show. But what's going on with 2026? Chuck Norris, Xander from Buffy, and now Strickland from some classic films? What's going on? Tom Noonan? What's going on? I mean, come on, the 2020s. Let's have legends preserved for a good while longer, shall we? Anyway, kicking us off now is yours truly with my trio of groans. Soft batter on fish and chips, or cod bites and chips. Come on now. Batter should only be soggy if you've drowned your food in vinegar. If the fish is soggy, that's the batter, when it's pulled from the fryer, then it should automatically be done again, in my opinion. Soggy batter feels like eating a wet sock. Ugh! When public toilets don't flush. Yes, you mentioned many toilet things, and no, it isn't toilet humour. So you've done your business on the throne, that's the toilet for those that don't know. The paper and, well, crap, etc. is still in there. You go to flush, or hover over the infrared button or whatever, and nothing happens. You then have to do the shuffle of shame and pray no one sees you coming out of the cubicle. Do these things not get serviced regularly, like? I mean, come on, surely a maintenance person should know when a toilet isn't flushing. I imagine it's not rocket science. When little shops have no chiller for their drinks. Why, yes, because everyone loves warm, full fat or diet pop. Surely it is a wise investment to keep drinks cool for your customers. Just a thought, and yes, it is a brief groan, groaners, but come on, sometimes you're lucky and you will go into a shop and things are cool, but if it's in room temperature, come on, you then have to chill it again and it doesn't taste the same. I mean, warm pop, oh god, no. That's my groans kicked to the curb for another week. The audience groan will join us later on in the show. Our first out of 4 games is up now for this week's episode with Talking Nonsense. Yes, you'll know this one, groaners. I give you gibberish. You must spin it to make sense out of gibberish, meaning English. You can either pause at each round or at the very end of the game. Here we go. Round 1. I dislike it, but you can put it on burgers or salads amongst many other things. Your nonsense is research. Now, round 2. One of the many cereals made by Kellogg's. Your nonsense is swap. Round 3. If you get hit with many of these from the sky, it can hurt and sometimes kill you. Your nonsense is snort. On that note, I bid you good luck, groaners, to spin those from gibberish to English, and the answer, or I should say the reverse solutions, will come later on in the show. This takes us now to the creepier side of the show with Admin Nicoles' Creepy Corner. Your story for this week is called Auspicious 22. Harmony was dragged to the bottom of the stairs, a bouquet of daisies forced into her handcuffed hands as she stood next to Lily. A fitting bouquet for Harmony. Daisies represent guilt after all, and who should feel more guiltier than the one who threw Lily away without even realising it? Harmony could only look between Lily and Robin. Something was very wrong here. There was no escaping it, and she knew. Then the scientist rolled a small table into the room with an oversized birdcage with Cove trapped inside. He was completely unresponsive, almost asleep in a way, but unharmed at least. Then Lionel announced it. The time was almost up. The scientist pinning down Robin at the top of the stairs were ordered to let go. The time was here. Everything the two had long been working towards, and all it took was a 3, 2, 1. Robin screamed in pain right before he fainted. It was only a mere few seconds later before he woke up, yet Robin never woke up. It looked like Robin, but Harmony knew it wasn't him. She knew Robin was gone, but she didn't want to accept it. This voice, this appearance, it was all his, but this was not Robin. The man who took over simply laughed as all the scientists kneeled before him. He strolled down the staircase, adjusting his suit before taking one look at Lionel. He examined his face, questioned his health, even complimented the ducks. "My beloved son, your father is back. I'd say that warrants a celebration, and what better than a wedding." Honestly though, 22 lifetimes to get to this point was exhausting. "I'm so proud of you, and yet I'm sorry I had to be away for so long," Dr. Quack said. Lionel wrapped his arms around his father and assured him none of it mattered. All of it was for the sake of the grand plan, and they finally did it. Astrology, astronomy, even numerology. It was all needed for this. 22 lifetimes, 22 years in each one to get to where we are now. The number 22 was so auspicious for them. It was the key to everything. The master builder, the architect of destiny itself. They created this. All that hard work, and yet this was only the beginning. Harmony collapsed on the ground, knowing Robin was gone, but she knew deep down, looking at Dr. Quack, that Robin may have never existed, and maybe even Robin himself was never aware. Dr. Quack clapped his hands, shocking Harmony further as he remarked that they were missing someone. The star goddess herself was missing. Every son needs his mother at their wedding after all. Lionel pulled a candle out of his pocket, one much like the one Mabel and Violet used to first summon Valencia in the village. But Liam was the only one who understood it. She wondered if it was truly possible to recreate it based on a mere glimpse. This would only be the start of the problems though. Not only did the candle work, but this one was different. Valencia appeared wearing handcuffs made of the stars themselves. The powers couldn't work, and she didn't have to leave if she was still bound to the stars. "You're both back, I see. I should have known you would show your face if Lionel was here too. Do you even want to know what you've both done to this world? To my world?" she asked. Lionel urged her to her feet, happy to see her and ignoring everything she was saying. Harmony tried to wake Cove in the chaos, but he wasn't able to hear her. Something was wrong, yet it was another issue she couldn't comprehend. Lionel laughed once more as the remote in his hand woke Cove up. He was nothing more than a machine. The start of a new generation of experiments to combine DNA with technology. Cove was a prototype and a monster. He was never made for anything else. "Please, just let me take Cove and leave. I won't tell anyone what you're doing here, I swear," Harmony said. That's when another laughed. Not Lionel or even Dr. Quack. No, this time it was Lily, as she lifted her veil and looked at Harmony in disgust. "You see what I mean? You used me like my brother did. They never brainwashed me. They merely asked me to fake it so that I could see what you both really think of me. They were right. You asked to escape and you didn't even think to take me with you. Neither of you ever loved me, did you?" Lily said. Valencia couldn't do anything. The handcuffs weren't just made of stars, they were stars. No one in this world should be capable of messing with the stars. Yet to Harmony, one name came to mind. The scientist who worked with stars and knew more about the old world than anyone ever should. Then he came walking into the room, taking in the chaos with every stride and a smile on his face. A man who many thought dead, killed by the vile acts of the scientist in the Green Death. However, this man wasn't dead. Far from it. He was one of the head scientists, and the very reason Lionel was able to get his beloved mother back. The only thing that can be truly stronger than love is power. But I do envy you both. The bond between Lionel and Dr. Quack is what made all of this possible after all. Who said a parent's love can't make the impossible happen? As for me, I'm just here for the unending ability to create whatever I want. The stars are at my disposal now. I do so hope you let me run a few experiments on your dear mother at some point, though, Lionel. I bet there's a treasure trove to be discovered there, Liam exclaimed. Nicole, not only is Quack back, is Robin really gone forever? And also, has Lily really turned, or is it all just scheme? Is Valencia going to break out some unknown power we don't know of in this new world? We can only hope, Groaners. We'll pick this up in 2 weeks, as next week it's the Easter special creepy story. Now, Groaners, we must ask that most mysterious of questions, which is of course, why oh why? A good few episodes back, we mentioned sharks getting coked up by dumped out drugs from boats. But now, what I've uncovered with help from Admin Nicole is just wow and mind blowing. Apparently dolphins like getting high. How, you may ask? I don't believe I'm going to say this, but they carefully chew on pufferfish nerve toxins before passing them along to the next dolphin. Mother Nature, please, take a seat and answer me this question. Just why? Why oh why do dolphins do this? What next? Dolphin rehab? I think I've heard everything now. With that baffling discovery, which leaves more questions, I must baffle you more, Groaners, with Please Reverse the Music. Yes, you know this one, Groaners. I play you some music. However, it can't be forwards, even in the game answers, because that will open a court case where I'll probably get struck off with copyright laws. So, all you're going to get is backwards tunes for each round, and you've got to guess what the tune is. Here comes round number 1. Pause here, Groaners. Have a little think what the tune could be as we move on to round number 2 after you unpause. Pause here, Groaners. Have a guess what that tune could be as we move on to round number 3. Pause here, Groaners, for your final round. See what that tune could be. Have a think about all of them. If you knew your music from the 90s classics, then you're going to do well in this game, Groaners. That's the only clue I'm going to give you, that all these tunes are from the 1990s. Best of luck. The game answers will come near the end of the show. Speaking of luck, Groaners, it can bring good fortune and bad fortune. The person in the next section has a bit of both, with oh, unlucky and lucky. A woman in Canada has claimed that a frozen lump of blue ice, that's frozen excrement from a plane, if you know what that is, Groaners, crashed through her roof, doing damage to roofing, insulation and drywall, leaving a puddle behind. A roofer confirmed it wasn't a meteorite, as that'd leave a rock behind instead of a puddle. That's the unlucky. The lucky is that had it been 15 feet closer to her, she'd most likely be dead. That'd be a hell of a thing to go on your gravestone, wouldn't it, Groaners? But I'm glad she didn't come to harm. Now, Groaners, as I had my chance to groan earlier, one of you gets a chance now with the audience groan. This week's audience groan comes from Paximo from Japan via email, and they groan, people not thinking their actions through. I'm sorry if my English typing is not the best. Greetings from Japan. Here we expect high standards from many people, but it hurts my soul when a fool rushes into something causing more harm than good. Just please, people out there, think before your actions cause the wounding of someone or similar. Pac, you did really well there, considering English isn't your first language. Thanks for that most excellent groan. If you want to send a groan in, like Pac did, or you want to send in some feedback, you want to come up with some ideas, nominate a Hero Zero of the Week, why or whys, anything, You can send it into the show countless ways coming. You can drop an email like Pac did to the groanzonepod@gmail.com. You can join us on Discord under the Groan Zone Podcast. You can join us on Facebook groups under the Groan Zone Podcast Facebook group. You can drop a message to either myself, that's Mr. E. Groaner, or Admin Nicole, that's Nicole Amos, on Facebook Messenger. And lastly, you can leave a comment on any of the platforms that you listen to us on, but you must drop us an email telling us where you've left the comment. We'll go and review it, and then you never know, your idea or your content or your groan might appear in the next episode of the show. Thanks a lot for listening, Groaners. Our third game takes over from Groans now as we play the 5-point countdown. Groaners, I'm going to talk about a topic. I'm going to give you 5 clues. When I give you the game answers, where you guessed right, you get a point. But if you guessed wrong, your points reset until you guess right again. Then you get the points. So if you guessed right at 5, but then changed your mind and guessed again at 4 and got it wrong, your points reset until you guess right again at clue number 3. Get the picture? Here we go. Clue 5 for 5 points. It comes in a jar and has a white lid and is edible. Clue 4 for 4 points. It's not just available in a spread. Clue 3 for 3 points. It contains nuts but isn't peanut butter. Clue 2 for 2 points. You can make your own version at home. And clue 1 for 1 point. Whilst this name is the name of the product, there are other versions of it, but this one is the most popular and well known. Groaners, what am I talking about? The answer will be given near the end of the show. As we now move on to name our zero of the week. There are many of us out there who will never ever get a Guinness record, or should I say, a Guinness World Record. But an Australian man has done just that. Why is he a zero, you may ask? Because in my opinion, he has done the most pointless gross thing ever. He now holds the record for pulling 10 balloons out of his mouth via his nose. The record is 10. I'm zeroing him because this is stupid and dangerous, and anyone trying to copy him could choke to death. This is just a silly endeavour. Please don't copy him because you too will have zero branding. As we near the end of the show now, Groaners, I give you the game answers. There was no picture game last week, but it will return next week for the Easter special. Your game answers start with talking nonsense. Round number 1, your nonsense was ranch dressing. Round 2, your nonsense was Cocoa Pops. Round 3, your nonsense was hailstones. Well done if you spun any of those from reverse to forwards and scored points. Next up is please reverse the music. Round 1, your reverse tune was Urban Cookie Collective with The Key, The Secret. Round 2, your reverse tune was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince with Boom Shake the Room. And last but by no means least was round number 3 with your reverse tune Gina G, Just a Little Bit. If you got any of those 90s classics, you were doing well, plus you're a legend because you know your tunes. The 5-point countdown may have baffled a lot of you, but the answer was Nutella. Well done if you scored points in any of those games, Groaners. Admin Nicole has the final game for this episode with Anagram Anxiety. Your anagram is UK Tories. I'm just going to say now, it's got nothing to do with politics. That's just how the anagram has fallen. Your clue is a traditional Easter speciality. And I'm probably going to be kicking myself because it's going to be easy, but I haven't got a clue. The solution will come next week over Easter weekend with the Easter special. Good luck, Groaners. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye. Kicking us off now is yours truly with my trio of the Groan. Kicking us up. If you've drowned them in fish,